All right, everyone. The other day showed that I think the Democrats are a little bit more worried than they're letting on. I think that some of the charismatic bravado is really just a screen, and behind the scenes they're sort of sweating nervously. Hillary Clinton, as you almost certainly saw, came out and said, "Oh well, you can't be civil to a group of people that wants to, do away with all your wonderful progressivism bullshit. So basically, we need to be uncivil to the Republicans." Now, she's not just referring to the Republicans. And she's not referring to like a McCain. She loves the warmongering neocon hawks. She's talking about Trump voters, the apolitical, I think libertarians, people generally outside of liberaldom and corporatedom. They're willing to tolerate the social justice warriors because they're useful idiot pawns, but, there will come a time when they throw them under the bus too. And then Holder came out, Eric Holder. And I discussed this in my previous video. I think these two are doing this for opportunistic reasons, but it's part of the they're definitely recognizable Democratic faces. They're giving so much ammo to the Republicans with these statements. He says, "Oh, when they used to say when they go low, we go high. Ha ha. No, when they go low, we kick them in the face." And then various chants to fight in the streets and do violent things. At what point are we going to understand something interesting? The Democrats in 2016 warned that Trump was encouraging political intimidation, that he was uncivil, that basically he was like, a bore and shit like that. Which party is actually calling for these things? Which party is actually saying, let's not be civil, let's be mean and nasty? You're starting to sound a little bit like Trump supposedly was like. Now, isn't that interesting? Do you think maybe he's doing that on purpose and baiting you into doing this? And it's not like the Democrats are being inauthentic. Look, they love political intimidation. If they can keep people who don't agree with them from going out to vote or show the fact that they dissent or stand up for their rights or something, then they win an easy battle. This is why we need to be 10 times more outspoken, like especially with regards to censorship. People need to be to literally start like flinging their feces around at people that are encouraging censorship more. Like they need to actually like shit post it up online and begin defending their rights. Otherwise, we're going to lose them. Here's the thing. Hillary Clinton is now calling for the kind of political intimidation that back when she was running against Trump, she chastised him for supposedly doing, but he never did. When did Trump talk about wanting to intimidate people? No, he was the candidate whose MAGA hat wearers were being punched. Antifa are the ones that punch people in the street and throw rocks and shit. The Democrats are the ones that are lording over a segment of their party. I'm not saying that the average mainline Democrat is a violent person. I understand that. But there's that 5 or 10% of the party that's dominated by social justice warriors that you got to understand their mentality. Ideologically, deeply and internally, they believe that the United States is being led down the road to a totalitarian dystopian dictatorship. Since they believe that it is okay to intimidate others, that it's okay to attack other people, that it's okay to erode, the basic framework of our republic in order to try to suppress these people from even being able to publicly exist, from having a job, from walking down the street and eating a pizza, from using the internet. They believe that these are okay because they've been lied to. Think of who does the hashtag resist stuff. Who's leading them? Like a bunch of pawns. They're being led by people with 1,000 times their wealth, who are usually older, almost always a lot richer, and they're corrupt corporate sellouts who as little as a few years ago were not saying any of the things they're saying today. And there will come a time when a lot of these social justice warriors see the light. There will come a time when they understand that they've got two choices. Give up the shtick because it's fucking dumb, or they'll have to join a third party or non-political movement. They're going to have to leave the Democratic Party. The Democrats 5 years ago weren't saying these things. They're saying, oh yeah, maybe we need a little bit more of a welfare subsidy. Maybe we need to raise taxes on the rich by 0.5%. They were doing the neoliberal thing. Now all of a sudden they're supposedly really, really far left. Let's be uncivil and nasty and kick people in the face. Yeah, hashtag resist. That's just an act, dude. They're taking your money and they're taking your political fury and using it to launch themselves on an upward trajectory, despite the fact that 90% of their races are still running a bunch of boring business liberals. So these people are being used. They're being propagandized to. Likewise, people on the right have been propagandized to by these same people. They're constantly talking about deplorable this, irredeemable that. Oh, there'd be a lost cause. Who was it who came out literally like an hour after Holder made his stupid comments and was like, well, the Trump voters are a lost cause. Like, just fucking give up. Oh, yeah, trust me, it wouldn't be good for the Democratic Party to just give up. Although, I mean, it is sort of a lost cause for them. How are you going to convince people that you've spent several years insulting nonstop to vote for your party? How are you going to possibly convince some American? They lost their job, they've been treated like shit by the economy, Trump comes along, things start to improve and at least speaks their lingo regardless, and you're telling them that there's something evil and racist about the fact that they're like, hey, I don't see the problem. That one woman who works for Mozilla the other day, I was retweeted that, I thought it was hilarious, it was like, if your company's not filled with people who are filled with fear and loathing and terrible things, and just constantly afraid and angry, then there's something wrong with your company. It's like, okay, here you have a corporate individual, probably gets a six-figure salary. Maybe more, if you're in San Francisco or something, you probably get seven figures. And then you're part of the middle class if you make $1 million a year practically there. An individual who's on the wealthy side, on the prestigious side, being a main developer for a company like Mozilla, it's a pretty damn good job. You get invited to the cocktail parties and shit. And this person's like filled with insanity and fear. And it's like, this is a genuine belief that these people have. They're not lying. Some of these people are not actual political opportunists, and so they believe that it's okay to be uncivil, and that it's okay to allude to violence or even conduct violence. They don't even realize that they are literally echoing the same sort of thing that they pretended to be averse to as little as a year or two ago. They used to say Trump said stupid shit like this, but he never did. When did he ever allude to these things? Never happened. There were a couple of times at his rallies where people that were already getting rowdy, he's like, oh, get him out of here, and, throw him out and stuff, and, much to great applause by his fans. These people were the ones that were going to his rallies and punching other people and throwing rocks and shit. And don't tell me that it wasn't happening, because I got to see, I was analyzing the whole fucking thing for months and months. I had to keep up with the news. I couldn't just use right-wing sources. No, not exactly a Fox and Breitbart fan, if you know what I'm saying. Here's the thing, though. Hillary Clinton, at the time, was like, well, he's lowering discourse to a level to being uncivil. And now she's openly calling to be uncivil. Well, imagine how things have changed. You have become what you projected off on Trump, and it's going to keep going, by the way. Oh, all of the other things, the despicable bigotry and stuff, Trump the racist, the Nazi, basically. Look as the Democrats are now ripping themselves apart over these issues. The far left and the corporate liberals can't agree on it. The corporate liberals don't care about minorities or women's rights or anything. They just use the far left opportunistically. When it becomes clear that they're not actually able to deliver on all the promises they made the far left, it's gonna fucking implode the Democratic Party. Trump has set the groundwork. Trump is literally, the Democrats are sitting there playing chess, thinking that they're winning. Trump, meanwhile, has taken a fucking explosive and tossed it underneath the table. He's like, oh, you beat me, bye, I'll talk to you later. It's basically just how long is the fuse. Trump has laid the groundwork for the entire liberal establishment to completely collapse. Now, this doesn't mean the death of the Democrats or the death of liberaldom. What it means is the Democratic Party presumably has to either become a far-left movement or purge the far-left elements. They'll have to find somewhere else to be. It'll cause a ripple effect within U.S. politics in a time of instability. It's not going to collapse our republic or anything. But this level of discourse, if the Democrats are worried, well, the country is fracturing, you are causing it to fracture by explicitly promoting political intimidation and a lowered form standard of discourse. You're the ones doing that at this point. Hillary Clinton is the face of your fucking party. She's openly calling to be uncivil. Don't try to blame Trump. Don't try to blame people that voted for Trump, or people who oppose censorship, or people who are part of the new right, or people who sat it out and said, I'm not voting for any of you morons. They're not the ones to blame. The social justice warriors and a handful of corporate opportunists are. And there were even people within the Democratic Party were warning, hey, Hillary, stop it, cut it out. Stop saying stuff like this. It's stupid. It's going to cause somebody to get hurt. Rand Paul and Trump are both warning openly about that because they know it's inevitable. It's like a powder keg around the midterms. It is inevitable that there will be instances of political violence. All you need is one major attack on a conservative conference or a conservative speaker right now, and the Republicans are going to sit there and be like, oh, you really done fucked up this time. And the Democrats will have fucked up, and they will be abandoned by millions of voters. Some of the Democrats know this. Hillary Clinton doesn't care because she's not running for office. She doesn't care if the Democratic Party dies. She just wants more book sales and more speaking fees and to go on tour and feel important. Eric Holder, same thing. There's a reason why they're the ones saying this stupid shit. Michael Moore's movie flops. Well, I guess I lost that investment big time. I don't fucking care anymore. And so he comes out and says stupid shit. And so you have these leeches within the Democratic Party. Pretty soon the social justice warriors will turn on them too. And it'll be really funny when that happens, by the way. That's about all. Peace out.